you can go online and you can find, like every other page is going to be a mask tutorial. I went online and found this one. I like it because it fits up on the top of the nose and it comes down under the chin. But you can find anything you want. It's your choice, however you want to make your mask. But if you want to make it my way, that's generally the pattern you're looking for. You need to go to Hobby Lobby or Joann's or even Walmart and pick up fat quarters. Now, I use two because I like to have an outside and an inside. But you could theoretically just get one and make your whole mask the same design. When you get it, and it's going to be kind of firm, that's because they wrap all this all this fabric around a big piece of cardboard. And when you get it unfolded, you're going to see all these permanent creases, which if we were making this pair of pants, it'd look really good, but we're not. So I usually spray mine with water and then press it to press out the creases. And you should end up with something like this. Now, granted, it's got what the old folks used to call cat faces in it, but it doesn't have those pronounced creases either. So this would be good for us to use now. Now, once you get the creases pressed out, then you want to pin on your pattern onto the fabric. I can't blow it up, but my pattern says fold line top stitch first. I'm going to explain to you about that later. I just wanted to point it out because this is not a fold line. A fold line is right here. So once I get this cut out, I will have to cut that to separate them because you're not going to be sewing these two pieces together. It's going to be right there in the middle. Now, once you get it cut out, you have your front, see Batman, and you have your inside. But I also have some blue here. Why? I'll tell you why. I have a friend who's done 279 masks for healthcare professionals. She said that they instructed them that all you have to do is put an extra layer of cotton in there, and that can serve as your filter. So this is the filter. Now it's going to be on the inside, so nobody's going to know there's blue in there. It just happened to be the piece that I picked up that was laying on my desk. Something else you could use as a filter is, I saw this at the dollar store, and it's actually a paper fabric thing, the Handy White, kind of a longer lasting paper towel. It's got perforations in it. I thought it would do real nice. But everybody seems to be wanting to use a coffee filter. This is just folded in half. Now, keep in mind that you may also have to trim it. And you may have to fold it in a different way. Something else that I found that I think would be really good for a filter, this is gauze, like you would purchase if you had cut yourself or had some kind of wound, and it's got little tiny perforations in it. But I think if you doubled it, it would work as a great filter. It'd be enough to let the air out, but not the sickening particles in. You could also use as a filter an old mask. This one, the ear strap broke on it, so it was, not useful anymore. And so I've salvaged the nose piece out of it. More on that in just a few minutes. Okay, once you get it cut out, remember I told you that these do not go together? It's going to be the round part. You want to stitch 1/4 of an inch or so like on the round area. And once you get that stitched, you want to come back with your scissors and you want to make just little cuts right up to the stitch. Now, be real careful because you don't want to cut through the stitch. I've tried pressing and then cutting and cutting and then pressing. I find that it works better for me if I cut and then press. But you try it your way. This is the outside, and you can see it has these such pretty purple flowers. What do you think of whenever you think of flowers? Butterflies. Remember I told you I would tell you about that fold line. This is the fold line. You just fold that piece over. You can use a straight stitch if you'd like, but I was playing with it's a new sewing machine, I was playing with it, and I thought the butterflies would look good with the flowers. Okay, after you get that stitched, by the way, this one has 4-leaf clovers, so roll tide, roll. Stitch the top, and I'll go over mine 2 or 3 times because I want to make sure it stays. Okay, very important. This is something else I told you I would talk about later. Put a nose piece in. I've made them with, I made them without. They're a lot better with. I just zigzagged some, put the piece of metal in there, and I went back and zigzagged like 3 or 4 times over it. Be very careful when you use your wide stitch because you don't want to hit this metal with your needle. It'll mess it up, mess your sewing machine up too. The next thing you want to do is you want to turn over the fold on the outside piece, and once you do that, you want to fold that in, fold that over, and then you want to bring it, and you take your elastic and you put it in there, and you just want to stitch where I'm putting this pin. See, you want to do it just like that, because, well, let's go to the next one. You want to be able to open up the mask like this if you're going to put a filter in it. See, you just, this is an old mask, or you use, like I said, you use a coffee filter, whatever you want to use, and you just stick it in there and you pull it through and make it lay down and be nice. Then you go back and lap it over, and there you have your mask. Now, this is 6.5 inch long, 1/4 inch elastic. You can use it, or you can purchase white corded elastic. This is actually elastic from one of those masks that we had to salvage off of. It's only 6 inches long, so if you've got a small face, or if you're making a mask for a young adult, or even a child, this might be what you want to use. I don't know what kind of a difference it would make if you used the 6 inch rather than the 6.5. An inch, and sometimes is not that, a 1/2 inch is really not that much, but then other times 1/2 inch is a lot. You can also scavenge. This is, I bought a new pair of shoes, and this is what was holding them together. And amazingly enough, they're 7 inches long, so all I have to do is cut off a 1/2 inch. And anyway, that's it. That's your mask. This is one of the first ones I did, and I also have an embroidery machine, and it actually has stabilizer in it. So the stabilizer was to act as a filter, and I went ahead and sewed both sides down. And that's it. That's your mask. Here at Louder, we miss all of our wonderful patrons, and we can't wait until all of you come back to see us. We invite you to come in as soon as we're open and see who get what mask, and be safe. And a special shout out to Roxana Joyce Jenkins, who couldn't remember my name when she was watching one of my earlier videos. It's Aunt Julia Ann, not Harry. Everybody, stay safe.